Hello, everyone, and welcome to the back half of round number 2 of the 2020 Samui Swine Classic 7, presented by Innova Champion Disc. We're at the Samui Disc Golf Course. Nigel's family and property couldn't be a better place to be as we are in Koh Samui, Thailand. We're here to bring you the back half. Again, Terry Miller along with Sarah Hokom. And Sarah, 11 more holes to close out day number 2. And hole number 12, also known as hole number 1, pretty short and very attackable.
Yeah, you're going to see most people throwing a putter here. Paige and I both matched the birdie on this one to start us off this round, but then Paige got into a little bit of trouble and I pulled ahead. I've got a 3-stroke lead going into this back half. We also saw Briana and View get some beautiful birdies on the previous hole.
So we are exactly halfway through the tournament as you guys will be playing this 11-hole course 6 times. You've played it 3, and now we're heading into the back half as of right now.
Paige leaving herself kind of blocked behind that coconut palm, and I'm going to join her back there.
Common place to be.
We've got a little bit extra wind on the course today. You can see us also carrying around our patio chairs. We're all in pretty good spirits.
Yeah, it's been
to be on Samui. Excuse me.
No. Sorry, I was just going to say it's been interesting to see as Paige has a tiny window, doesn't quite get through there. She's a little frustrated. View, who's more familiar with this course than anyone, just has struggled on hole 1. And I think a lot of people would say they're shocked to see that, myself included. Yeah,
it's such an easy, quote unquote, shot that it can get away from you. You kind of take advantage of it like that. I guess that's one good reason I have that elevator putt.
And you're not exactly short, so
oh yeah, true.
Both of those working in your favor. And the Disc Golf Lawyer, I know, is the full-time basket sponsor out here. If you ever need anything, make sure you reach out to him. And View has just a few feet left for her cleanup. And you guys will move on to hole 2 or hole 13 in this format.
279 feet. Mando on the left. It's a straight shot to a pretty guarded green. You've got to navigate through these coconut palms. There's also a low coconut palm tree where those palm leaves are pretty heavy. They will knock your disc down pretty quick. And then you get up here to a few more trees and a termite mound that's blocking you. Bree's been going sidearm the last 3 times we played this hole, and she has decided to go roller. I think it's working out.
It does. That pushes to the right, but she navigated past at least 3/4 of the danger. And in some ways, that's a win in itself.
I am not changing my game plan, but I do hit the palm with a crate.
Looks like it gives you a good kick. A lot of times those can stop almost instantly, and it kind of carried toward the basket. So you'll have at least a look.
View with her beautiful flip up, which she thinks is ugly, getting all the way through. View told me that she doesn't like the shape of her shots because she wishes she threw power shots flat. I'm like, I love that way. I love the way you throw. And Paige also with a slow turning flippy disc, looks like a putter. Gets a kick, but she's got most of the way up the fairway.
And you're outside the circle, at least 35, maybe even close to 40 feet here, with a little obstruction.
Close.
You see that is the main road that brings you to the course that we have just behind the basket there. Oh, Bree also close, yeah.
Paige also obstructed from a little far, probably 40 feet. This is going to take a perfect anhyzer to get into the basket here. Ooh, that was so close to being perfect.
Yeah, her angle was great. She actually surprisingly just had a little too much power on it.
And View from the edge of the circle. Lots of distractions.
Yeah.
Solid. There's some of the view that we know and love. Such a talented golfer. She was really sick yesterday, so it kind of put her in the hole a bit, but we're seeing some greatness here.
Paige will clean up for the par. We also heard the eruption. Things getting a little rowdy right off the tee of hole 3. There's some new condos and apartments that have been built just in the last year. And yourself, along with quite a few other golfers, have kind of set up camp there for a few weeks or for an entire month. And we saw a panning shot of them last round. They're a little bit rowdy, having fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, as a spectator especially. Hole 14 is the island hole, 197 feet. Has a pretty big island, but there's a tight gap to get there. And you have a wall that's there to stop you, but maybe won't if you go underneath it. With this wind, this hole is playing quite a bit more difficult.
And views
to get down. Oh, yeah, did that stay in?
I think that it did. It was leaking left, like we've seen a few of her other shots. Bree is 3 for 3 with great thumbers here.
You can also see that dog sitting in the fairway. That's we've affectionately considered her mama.
Yep.
Okay.
And she frequents the course. This is kind of her hole. Usually she's sitting on this bench greeting all of the disc golfers as they come to hole 3.
Off to the left, I see Kinga, who's in from Australia. He's taking pictures, working with Alta World and writing articles.
Trying to kick my disc down in bounds. Paige with a putter. This has been a hole she has struggled with. She went out of bounds 2 out of 3 times so far, and this is now making it 3 out of 4.
Yeah, you heard her as walking off the tee saying something about this hole really getting to her. Now she's at the drop zone. This is to try and save a par, but
hits the fence to have an easy tap in for her bogey.
Oh no, settle.
Bree realizing just a little too much power on that, but it checks up off the tree, and she's also sitting right there. Now, you're not as close as you've been the previous 3 attempts.
Yeah.
This looks obstructed.
I've got a tiny gap that I have to hit a perfect Anheuser angle through. And yeah, that was a little bit outside my comfortable skill set. But, you know, it's an easy tap in at this point, so.
Yeah, there you go. So you'll still walk away with the par, and even a par in this case, as you address the rowdy crowd back there on the tee of 3. But a par will pick up a stroke at least here on Paige. And
you with the only birdie.
Yeah.
Paige cleaning up.
So I think we've seen a par, a double bogey, and 2 bogeys by Paige here on this 3rd hole, so to speak, and just not something she's been dialed in on, unfortunately. And you're right there. You're sitting, 3 under in 4 opportunities.
That's correct. Yeah, thankful for that lefty route. On a hole 15, 305 feet. This is a pipe shot off the tee with a gentle turning backhand that'll hook up at the end, or a power shot with a sidearm that's kind of going to get lucky through these trees towards the end of the flight. This is a technical hole, and making progress up the fairway is key.
And really a great angle for View's stand-up shots.
This is a perfect hole for her strength. And she gets up there. It's not quite what she was looking for, but it's an improvement over the last couple attempts.
We've seen Bree get really creative with the backhand roller, and she's going to lay one down again.
Oh, dang, that's a bad hop. But the angle looked really good on the onset. I guess that's one of the risks you take throwing a roller, is that some of the ground play is going to mess with the shot regardless of how well you throw it.
Yeah, knowing that there's sand here and other things that are on the ground, she could hit a coconut. You don't say that too often.
This came out a little high. Kicked off to the right. Paige going again with the sidearm. Man, I really like the backhand play for her here, even with her sole that flips up so nicely. But she's challenging herself.
The mix of emotions, what?
That's disc golf for you.
So now she's forced to throw another forehand on her recovery shot, and she does get a good kick, and wow.
She doesn't like it out of her hand, but it gets
Again.
through. Bree also utilizing her sidearm and almost throws it in. You can hear Paige cheering for her. I gotta throw a little uncomfortable backhand from a split stance over this little mound. And that's good enough.
You say uncomfortable, but you sure executed it well.
Uncomfortable in my head. View with the only look at birdie, but from way back. She leaves herself a little bit of meat on that bone. Oh, very little actually, with her putt. But this wind is a little bit nasty, crosswind on the coming from right to left.
Yeah, you can see it and hear it. And she's not worried about it, but
solid ninja putt.
Taking her time. She remains at that +5, tied with Bree, and then we see you and Paige are 5 apart from one another, you having that advantage right now. But scores are very diverse, ranging from your 13 under all the way to the 5 over.
I'm definitely trying to extend my lead. Paige Pierce is known for her amazing comebacks and ability to just go get birdies over and over again. So you're never really comfortable with Paige on your heels.
And now we're going to move into the longest hole on the course, hole 5.
This is our 16th hole of this round with 627 feet. OB left, OB right, distance shot off the tee. The next shot, you'll be navigating through more of these coconut trees. There's a bigger open spot on the left side and then a low ceiling on the right side near the OB to challenge the green, which is pretty open, but typically does have some wind. View will be first up. That was not the release point she was looking for. We're going to hope this sits.
And a big smile, because even though that wasn't the release like you mentioned, it still actually turned out all right for her.
Bree trying to make an adjustment in this wind, and it is just pushing it right, but that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Throwing a trace here. Don't get quite the turn I'm looking for. It'll leave me right. We'll see if I'm obstructed. I have been right behind some coconut trees for most of the rounds. Paige throws the shot she intended, I think. Maybe for the first time on this hole. Really just crushes it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's an absolute crush, and one of the times that I feel like she can really give something full power in terms of a drive, and then she had the power and the accuracy there. There's
a little rooster in there throwing her disc out of the OB, I think.
View flirting with it on the right side, but like you said, it popped back out. Now, this is a delicate shot, because when you're on the right side and you get it up in the air, you have to worry about if it hits off a tree, it could find OB, but I love that she keeps it low. It does get stopped there, but that was really the angle and the place that she's looking to be.
Oh, yeah, and especially needing the distance with a driver to get all the way to the pin or to get far enough to ensure you're getting a birdie look or a par, you have to throw those discs that are going to ricochet the worst.
Yeah. Get up. Yep. Woo!
Getting a lot of audibles. We're having a pretty good time out here. Paige, just on her second shot, but so far up, and she is going to have a tap-in birdie.
Yeah, and I'll give a little spoiler alert in case you have or haven't seen the FPO footage, but any male or woman, man or woman, would love to be where she was. That was a great drive, a huge crush by Pierce. And if you have that power and you can take advantage of it here, it can make this hole substantially easier.
Nice approach from Bree. Got a long look at birdie.
Bring it in.
Ugh.
Oh.
You know, I only got this in practice like 1 or 2 times, so it's just a little bit out of my range.
You just got to work on that leg kick. I thought that was going to do it.
Yeah, right. I didn't do that part right. More extension.
Great birdie by Pierce to get within 4 of you. This is the one par 4 that's found on the course. And another little spoiler, I have on good authority that we may see at least 2 new holes added to this course. And they've been building it throughout the years, working incredibly hard, working with the neighbors, acquiring more land to use for the course. But I have on good authority we're going to see at least 2 additional holes. So if 11 holes wasn't weird, well, now we might have a 13-hole course by 2021.
On to hole 7, the 17th hole, 436 feet. We've got OB left, OB right. It's a long drive to get all the way down there. Most of the ladies are going to be just throwing as far as they can safely to ensure an easy par. But we have seen Paige get to this basket. We'll see if she does it this time.
You can tell her feet are anxious to unload.
She's willing it inbounds, and I think she's pinned high. Maybe 100 feet to the right, but...
Yeah, flirting with the OB that's on that right-hand side, as View is also going to try this right-hand side. It flips up and...
Ooh. I look safe.
Yeah, it kicks to the right, but not finding the OB. And as we're going to watch Bree throw here in a moment, I want to have you leave in the comments, what's the most unique number of holes you've played in a tournament round? So 9 and 18, don't even tell me that. Give me something unique that you've played in a tournament round, and that will make you eligible. Maybe you've only played with 9 or 18. Tell me that, I guess. But that'll make you eligible to win a disc by liking and telling us what's the most unique hole count you've ever played.
Tons of wind in play here. You can just see those coconut tree leaves just blowing, making all the approaches a little more difficult, especially these big distance tee shots like we're just witnessing here.
So View, who is just a few feet short of out of bounds, unfortunately finds that tree. So she'll have some work to do here to try and save her par. And you're in a great position.
Yeah, I've got an option for a hyzer approach, and in this wind, I'm definitely trying to make the adjustment. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
You better be. I don't know what you're expecting if you're not, but you said it. Paige now is pinned high on this 436-footer. She's off to the right, but at least, you know, she was all the way up to the basket, and that looks like a layup right underneath the pin.
View to save her par. Some excitement in the background. Everybody's in great spirits here, and lots of people out on the course and cheering everybody on. Bree knew it immediately. Oh, she says. That's great.
And we'll watch. View will tap out. You're left with less than 15 feet here for your par.
There is also a road on the other side of this basket as you cross over to the 7th hole that we're always seeing. Oh, no. That we're always seeing the little motorbikes and people walking down. So it's kind of fun way for the community to kind of interact and see what's actually going on this coconut farm of a property and see that maybe there's something they can go do out there for a little bit of recreation.
Well, we move over to hole 18, and it's got the Mando. Little flex shot, is that the plan here for most?
Big flex shot is how I would describe it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a flex shot, really favoring a righty backhand or a lefty sidearm. Unfortunately don't have either one of those. We'll see how I attack it. But Paige definitely going to throw that big turning backhand.
Yeah, it looks like that doesn't have enough stability. Either that or she missed her angle, but I feel like the stability wasn't there. She missed the Mando on the previous go-through, so maybe she was just trying to, make up for that mistake and overcompensated.
Yeah, I think we also have a headwind here that could have easily overturned that shot. View also with a really good shot shape for this hole and also needed to stable up a bit. Let's see if Bree can kind of learn from what's going on with the rest of us. Oh, it looks like she did.
Yeah, that is a great angle. It's just a matter of if she had the distance or not. But that was the exact flight pattern I think a righty backhand thrower is looking for.
View with a few trees to navigate. But perfect.
Making it look easy. All right, are you comfortable or uncomfortable with this shot?
More comfortable than I was the first round. It's a pretty comfortable shot, but just in general, anytime you're throwing something like that, it's oh my goodness.
Another long range putt.
Same hole. She did this yesterday. I'm a thing that's from almost the exact same position. Paige with an interesting lie over here and some really thick bushes.
Yeah, she's up against the right-hand side, the right fairway, so to speak. And you can see she's almost pin high, and she still is able to give it a run. A little deeper, and she would have actually found the OB line back there. But instead, she'll have an easy tap in for the par. But not a tree line you'd expect to come into play for someone like Paige that far to the right.
Yeah, we're all still kind of trying to remember how to manipulate our discs in the wind this early in the season. There you see Nigel and his daughter out there.
Yeah.
He's also a great player. Got to play a practice round with her. Hole 19, 312 feet. This is a gap shot with OB on the left and deep. Players are backhand throwers are going to throw slow turning anhyzer. Bree looking for the flex.
Nailed it.
Paige has thrown this hole incredibly well and has actually managed to birdie this hole each and every go around. So this is her fourth attempt. Yeah. She has that shot dialed. It's beautiful.
Yeah, not much you can say about that one. I know I mentioned it earlier. If you see the sand or the dust kick up, that means you are on the dance floor looking at a birdie.
I'm also got to look at it. Not the gap I was looking for, but somehow I keep getting through.
And as everyone exhales at the same time, we see that one leak out to the left, but she stays inbounds.
Ooh. Yeah, these are tough approaches. There's always going to be a new shot, and the trees are spaced in a way that you kind of have to pick the shot that's going to really utilize your strengths, but also give you the least risk.
And Bree finding herself now up on the green. And it's interesting to look at the scores. You and Paige, of course, just a few strokes apart. And then right now, View and Bree are all knotted up as we're a little more than halfway through the tournament, and they're at the exact same score. But you two are making it a two-woman race right now. No! No!
Humanity!
That makes me 0 for 4 from almost that exact same position. I guess I got to work on that distance, among other things. View here to
Save her par.
save
Yeah,
the
nice.
par.
Oh my god.
And well, okay. So there's Paige. You know Paige is close when she doesn't flip her disc up above her head.
Oh.
She just throws it in. That's a rarity, folks.
So Paige now 4 for 4 on this hole, and me 0 for 4. So we are battling, but I think the battle is happening on different holes for each one of us.
Yeah, you guys have such a difference on hole 3, the island hole, and then hole number 8 or 19 that we just saw. But here we are, lots of birdies to finish out on holes 9, 10, and 11, or 20, 21, and 22. And Paige has this one dialed as well.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that shot. Beautiful. I am doing the same mistake over and over again, but I still have a look, so, you know, we're just going to go with it. Bree with her Firebird sidearm. Throws it a little low. Not happy with that.
Yeah, I feel like she's just hasn't found exactly her most comfortable shot on this hole, and she's, you know, kind of had 3 or 4 different results now, and maybe next year when she revisits, she'll have yet a different approach to it. We'll see what she gets comfortable with.
Yeah, there's so many ways to approach it. View looking for the birdie.
There's one thing that's been really consistent, and maybe that's going to continue to improve for her as she plays this year, as you're lining up a birdie, is that almost every one of View's putts have been just short. She's usually on line, but short. Yes, yours is dead center.
At least you're guaranteeing a 2-putt situation rather than a multi-putt situation.
Exactly. So, I mean, that is going to hopefully reduce stress or long-range comebacks. But I guess my point would be, if it's just a matter of her adjusting her power, and she's usually on line, and it's a matter of the power, I think that's a relatively easy fix, as opposed to, you know, missing the basket by 2 feet left or right. So hopefully she can just get her power adjustment, and I think we'll see a lot more birdies from her as a result.
Yeah, she's certainly capable. On to hole 21, 197 feet. This is a backhand hyzer, whether you go low, middle, or high. Trying to miss all these trees as you're hyzering in, get close to the basket.
Gary to the O is at about the catch position, just about pin high, watching these come in. Like you said, the hyzer approach is the most common one. We've seen 3 great backhands by you in the previous 3 attempts. This one's a little higher.
I had been trying to go higher on some of the previous ones, so I actually did it, and this time it didn't work out as well, although I still have a long look. That was maybe my body over my mind on the previous 3.
See a little bit of a headwind coming in for the players. View's going to keep it low and plays the skip with the sharp disc. I love that play as well. I think it makes a lot of sense. Because you're getting it on the ground, and so if you do hit something, it won't kick as far.
Yeah, and Bree going for the higher approach this time and gets it even closer.
Oh, come on. It doesn't matter where you are.
Well, this time it didn't. Close enough, I guess. I think I'm 3 for 3 now, 4 for 4 now on that one. Paige looking to match. Oh, and that'll give me another stroke on her going into the last hole of this round. View and Briana over here battling also.
Great birdie. And yeah, just to put that back in perspective, when you guys started this day or this round, this 22-hole round, Paige had you by a single stroke. And now here you are, you know, with quite the turn, and you have her by 4 strokes. We've got 1 hole left to play, but quite a turnaround. You've gone from a 1-stroke deficit to now, at this point, a 4-stroke lead.
Yeah, you know, it's really, I haven't really gotten very many bogeys, and that I think has been the key. I think I had 1 bogey so far out of the 43 holes we played.
Yeah. And we see Paige, who's been a little bit more aggressive in some situations, has, maybe as a result of that, has taken more bogeys than you have for sure. So here we are on the final hole of the round and of the day.
Hole 22, 197 feet. You can take the gap shot up the middle with a putter or a mid, or you can throw the sidearm route left to right with a late fade. And I'm going to be going shock from a standstill position, getting that turn and then the fade back to the basket. That is what I'm looking for.
Great shot. That's going to put you right there for a birdie look on the final hole. View playing that left to right Annie, but it looks like it was a little too much stability.
Briana also going with the sidearm with her Firebird.
I'm not about to downplay the difficulty of this hole, but as terrible of a side armor as I am, I think this would be the one place I'd actually try it, because that gap on that left side playing down like you did seems to be the highest percentage route.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. I find the early trees are a little bit more in play. Early and the left trees are more in play with the sidearm. But it is such a short hole. I think it's worth the risk, even if you're not so sure about your sidearm abilities.
View, who is pin high, Bree doesn't convert.
View looking to get the lead here over Briana for third place. Oh!
Just over the top. As you said, Nigel and his daughter there in the background, getting lunch and other things ready soon, I'm sure, for the players. So we're going to start to close things out. I want to thank you guys all for joining us. Hope you've been enjoying the action. Thanks to the PDGA, along with Innova Champion Disc, our Patreon subscribers, and Gary to the O. Leave it in the comments, the most unique number of holes you've played in a tournament, and we'll see you guys for round 3.